Hello, everyone. Welcome, welcome. I am Solid Blue Sister, and this is Friendly Differences 2.0. And today, today we're going to talk about the Harris Trump debate. I know a lot of people have been talking about it this past week. And we are also going to talk about the division in America. And I want to talk about MAGAs and how much MAGAs or maggots, depending upon how you want to put it, they tend to kind of stir the pot, and they have been. Now, first of all, I want to just talk about where MAGAs actually come from, and to me, they are an extension of the Tea Party, which started back in right around when President Obama became president in 2008, but they've just gotten worse. But the debate on Tuesday and the aftermath of the debate really shows you where America is, in my opinion, and how divided America is. America is very, you're either here or you're there. And if you try to be in the middle, it's kind of hard. It's like we are back in the Civil War, the war between the states where you had literally families that were torn apart by the war because you had some people who were fighting for the North and you had some people who were fighting for the South. And that's how I see this country right now. We are a country that is divided either red or blue. And if you're in between, sometimes it can be hard. But the comments and the vitriol that came out after the debate was truly just, I'm not even surprised at half of the stuff that I hear anymore because it's so ridiculous and it's so stupid and it's so racist. You have Marjorie Taylor Greene on TV talking about how first she said that Kamala Harris was not someone, who could speak well, which I thought was extremely funny. And then she said that Kamala, she didn't like her divisive talk that she spews. Well, Marjorie Taylor Greene, as we know, has been spewing hatred and vitriol. Remember, this is the one who pretty much chased David Hogue down the street when he was still a minor, when he was going to testify in Congress after the Marjorie Stoneman shooting in Florida. But again, the debate was and happy Saturday to you, Marlon, and hello, Ace. I just can't get over again some of the things that people say. And let's just go to something that JD Vance said. Yes, we're going to talk about OJD about Taylor Swift.
We admire Taylor Swift's music, but I don't think most Americans, whether they like her music or fans of hers or not, are going to be influenced by a billionaire celebrity who I think is fundamentally disconnected from the interests and the problems of most Americans.
A celebrity who is fundamentally disconnected, okay, from the interests of the people of America. Now, the people who are disconnected from this country are Republicans. And let's put the extremists to the side. Let's put the Proud Boys and the MAGAs and all those people, let's put them to the side. Let's talk about the Republicans that are in the middle, that are the McCain Republicans, that are the Ronald Reagan Republicans, that are even the Republicans back from the 60s, when they were very much into the Southern strategy of making sure that Black people did not vote. Let's talk about those people. Those are the people who refuse to stand up and denounce Donald Trump for what he is, which is a convicted felon, a convicted rapist, a misogynist, a grifter, a liar, a thief. I can go on and on. I have a lot of adjectives that I can throw out there, and they're all negative. This is somebody who was openly said, just grab him by the pussy. Why are Republicans not coming out and denouncing Trump? Now, do I think that they've been threatened? Absolutely. Do I believe that when Trump was impeached right after January 6th, that a lot of those Republicans were threatened? Yes, I do. I think that Trump called them, or his minions called them and said, if you impeach Trump, we're going to have your daughters, your wives, whatever, that they were going to go after their families. I believe that 100%. And that is why a lot of these Republicans are not denouncing Trump. But then you have somebody like Kamala Harris. Now, a lot of people say they don't know her. Now, being a transplant from the Midwest to California, I had the opportunity to vote for her, both for Attorney General and for Senator. And I saw the things that a lot of people are seeing now. And I've even told people that as soon as the California Kamala comes out, which we are seeing now, in my opinion, it's going to be a whole different thing. And we all know that vice presidents do not make policy. So for them to say, well, how come she didn't do this and she should have done this? We know that vice presidents do not make policy. Biden did not do much when he was vice president. Pence sure didn't do anything. Bush 41 did not do anything under Reagan when he was president. Cheney, yes, he did do a lot when he was under Bush 43. He pretty much, as far as I'm concerned, he was the president and Bush was the vice president. But again, you look at what vice presidents do and what they don't do. So a lot of people would not have had a chance to get to know Kamala Harris. Did we get a chance to know Pence? No. Except, we're getting to know Pence now because he still refuses to denounce Trump. They were going to threaten to hang him, and he still would not denounce Trump. But I will give Pence this. At least he did go back into the chamber later on the evening of January 6th, and he did confirm the election. So, I just don't understand why Republicans that are in the center are not denouncing Trump. You have had, or they have had, so many opportunities to get rid of Trump once and for all, but they refuse to do it. Even now, they could switch out their candidate. Do I want them to? No, because I do believe Kamala Harris is going to win, and I do believe that she's going to win big. But she is going to win. But why won't they denounce Trump? What is it about Trump that, he is destroying, he has destroyed the Republican Party. The Republican Party was on their way to destruction, when they formed the Tea Party. They had candidates who were not wackadoodles that they could have chosen. They could have voted for Chris Christie, but instead they didn't. They voted for Trump. Anthony says fear. Yeah, it is fear, but fear of what? Because Kamala Harris showed the world what Trump was, even though we all know it. The people who are not MAGAs, the people who do not support Trump, we all know that Trump is a little tiny man, that he's a coward, that would go run to his bunker while, we would jump in front of our children to save them from a bullet or being harmed. Trump would put his kids in front of him to block that bullet. That's harsh. That's what I believe. So, let's talk about some of the MAGAs out there and the hypocrisy that they are, the stuff that they are spewing. And if one particular viewer is watching this, I don't know if they are or not, I just want to say to you personally that on many occasions you have said that you hope that when people come to the table, that they're honest, that they're honest. But you never are. And you support people who are not honest. So if you're listening, I just want you to know the hypocrisy that many Republicans engage in on the daily. So just take a listen.
If you are over 18, please register to vote for something else that's very important coming out. The 2024 presidential election.
F.U. Taylor Swift. Taylor Swift just endorsed Kamala Harris. Taylor Swift, yeah, she posts a picture of herself with her cat. Would you look at this? You can, of course. You can kiss your sails to the Republican audience goodbye, Taylor. Hope you enjoyed them while you had them. This is disgusting. If she wants to vote Harris Walz, she can do it all she wants. But to say the reason she's doing it is because of Tim Walz's stance on LGBTQ, F.U. Taylor Swift. And F all of the people who want to see these children have body parts chopped off and watch them sterilized under the age of consent, and then will ride off to their multi-gazillion-dollar mansions, never to think of them again. I was so heartened and impressed by her selection of her running mate, Tim Walz, who has been standing up for LGBTQ rights, IVF, and a woman's right to her own body for decades. Oh my God.
Okay, so I don't know if some of you guys remember, but in 2016, Megyn Kelly, she was one of the people who moderated one of the early debates. And Trump came out and said, I was going to include it with this clip, but it was just going to be too long. Welcome, Ricky. And who else popped in? Bryce. Did I say welcome to you, Bryce? But anyway, she was an early supporter. I'm sorry, an early person who moderated a debate back in 2016. And she was, pulling out the whole thing, grabbing people by the pussy. She said all that. She, asked him about his misogyny, asked him about a lot of things. And after the debate, Trump came out and said that Megyn Kelly, I don't know what her problem was. She was bleeding from everywhere. She was bleeding from where, her what. And later on at Fox News, someone asked her, how did you feel about him attacking you? And she says, I can handle it. I'm a big girl. So all these years later, she's now saying F you to Taylor Swift. Now, if Taylor Swift had endorsed Trump, would it have been F you Taylor Swift and going back to your gazillionaire mansions and everything? Would it have been that? I mean, I'm just asking. Or is the Republican Party, or not? I'm not even going to say the Republican Party. Is the Trump clan just so upset that? I mean, come on, they have Kid Rock, they have Hulk Hogan, and if they ask, maybe just maybe they can get Clint Eastwood to come back and speak for them and talk to a chair. And Ricky says, don't put race on it. She is talented and she's very beautiful. I'm not putting race on it. I did not put race on it. I am not a Taylor Swift fan. I'm not a Taylor Swift fan at all. I do not own any of her music. If some of her music came on right now, I would not know what it was. I would not know the words, any of it. But again, I say, if Taylor had endorsed Trump, would Megyn Kelly have behaved the way that she did? Would she have? Okay, I was speaking to Marlon. Okay. What did Marlon say? Hold on, let me go back because I want to make sure. You see, a black man who worshiped Taylor Swift, and interesting. Okay, so and. Marlon, to be fair, I will say that there are Taylor Swift. She has a lot of people who like her music, black, white, Latino, Asian. She has a lot of people who like her music. So and Ricky says, no, Megyn would not have said that if she endorsed Trump. No, she wouldn't have. So again, if this person is out here listening to this podcast right now, I want you to be fair. I want you to be honest. Because see, this is what people do. They'll get on people for saying one thing about one group of people, but when the tables are flipped, they don't admit that the same thing would have happened. Now, let's talk about the debate a little bit. The debate between Biden and Trump last June, this past summer, it was hard to watch. It was hard. It was it was hard to watch. And I was trying, but I was still going to vote for Joe Biden. Because for me personally, I cannot vote for someone who has done some of the nasty, racist, and I am going to bring race into it, things, not only to Black people, but of people of color. And I've been around for a while. I'm a boomer, and I've seen a lot of things. I have been subjected to a lot of things. Where I live now, I live in pretty much a conservative area. I live right next door to a sundown town, where it is still on the books that it's a sundown town. And I have been told many times since I have been living here for about 20 years that go back where I came from. But where I live is a community that just became a city in 2010. And before, it was nothing but cows and farms. And I still live around cows and farms. But I was one of the first people here. And all the other people who came around, if you're familiar with California, a lot of them, the transplants came from Orange County, which are a lot of conservative people. So don't tell me that I need to go back where I came from when I was one of the first people here in this area before it became a city. I look at some of the things that Trump has said, that he is still talking about the Central Park Five. Yes, he is. He is still talking about the Central Park Five who were exonerated. And they were exonerated not only through going back and investigation, but also through DNA. I have a problem with, when I look at Black people who support, and this is not all Black people who support Trump, but you have some people who say, oh, I support Trump because he gave me a stimulus. He gave you $1,500. $1,500. And it wasn't him who gave it to you. It was Congress that gave it to you. Trump just put his name on the check, but he did not give it to you. And by the way, Biden came along and gave 2 more stimulus checks. So to those Black people who I say, if you're going to sell yourself out for $1,500, that's sad. That's really, really sad. And I look at the Ice Cubes and I look at the Kanye West and I say to you, and I'm going to throw in Oprah and Tyler Perry also, that when it all comes down to it, and if Trump wins and Project 2025 is put into effect, because it will be, they're coming after you first. They're going to confiscate your stuff first. Because see, Black folks, we can't have too much money. We can't have too much power. Let's see. Let's see. Ricky says, I paid $2,400 to get a good seat at her show once upon a time. I would never, ever pay for Oprah. But that's just me. I'll pay for a concert ticket for that. I paid that much to see Janet Jackson, but I am not for Oprah. Sorry. Let's see. Okay. Marlon, I don't necessarily think that's true. I think a lot of Black people are paid to go to those rallies. That's what I think. But I could be wrong. Let's see. Okay, Ricky says, Marlon, what has the Democratic Party done for us straight Black men? Ready, set, go. Well, I'm going to tell you, Ricky, what the Democratic Party has done for straight Black men. Not much. Not much. But then again, I say, what has the Republican Party done for straight Black men or anybody? See, I look at the Democratic Party as the lesser of two evils. And people have gotten on me for saying that. Both parties are crap. Both of them are. Both parties do not give a crap about Black people. If you want to be honest, let's be honest and really talk honesty. Neither one of them give a crap about Black people. But again, I am someone who will always vote. I will never not vote. I've said it before. I always vote. Even if it's for dog catcher, I'm going to vote. I never miss a vote for anything. I go to my town hall meetings. I do all that because I want to know what is going on. But when I look at apples to oranges, there are too many rotten apples or more rotten apples that I can see in the Republican Party. I cannot support or as one of my Black friends told me a couple of years ago, that when he voted for Trump, he wasn't voting for the man, he was voting for the party. But if you look at, so when you look at Marjorie Taylor Greene, this is who you want to vote for? Laura Loomer? These are the people who you want to vote for? These are the people who are in this party that you want to vote for? But then I look at Biden, and I'm going to be honest. Biden has said things back in the 80s when he was running for president. He said things about Black people. It was like, seriously? Are you kidding me? And that's one reason why he didn't get a lot of the Black votes back in the 80s. Every white person, to an extent, and I'm going to say to an extent, not all, but a lot of white people have said negative things, humiliating things, and hurtful things about Black people and people of color. There is a book that I'm reading now. I'm almost finished with it, called Our Hidden Conversations. And it's about conversations that people have in private, that Black people have in private, that white people have in private, Asians, they talk about every race has in private. And it's a very raw book. It's a very raw book. Things that people will say when the doors close, but they won't say it when the door is open and everybody's sitting at the table. Hold on, I've been talking. Let me put this up here. Okay, and Ricky, I am glad that you weren't. And I did say I think some of those people were paid. Okay, Marlon says, I don't support either party. Two horns on the same devil. Yes, it is. Ricky says, what has the Republican Party done for straight? Okay, I'm sorry. I already did that. I apologize. Hold on. I got to go down. The Democratic Party turned Black women against us Black men. The gender war is disgusting in Black America nowadays. But you know what, Ricky? I'm going to ask this. I was looking to see if I had that book handy. I don't think the Democratic Party did that. I think Black America within our own group, or however you want to put it, we did that to ourselves. During Reconstruction, when you had a lot of Black people who were able to vote, and you had Black men who were senators, and then all that changed when Democrats, got stronger with the Klan. And they totally just made sure that Black people could not vote. But you also had Republicans at that time, white Republicans, who were like, well, we got all these Black people here. We don't want them to get too much power. So both of them during Reconstruction had a hand in getting rid of the Black vote. But then let's jump up to civil rights. There were a lot of Black women in the, during civil rights who were actually the strength of civil rights. You had a lot of Black women who wanted to have more of a voice, but Black men, including Martin Luther King, said, no, you all just need to stay here, be our secretaries and type, print out the pamphlets, whatever. We will go out there and we will be the ones that will do this. And you had a lot of Black women who were, kind of put back because of that. Right now in America, Black women are the most educated group of people out of anyone. That's a fact. I'm not making that up. That is a fact. And I think that you have, Black men who I'm not going to say they don't like it, but it's like they don't know how to deal with it. Ricky says the Democratic Party shows up at our churches and sells us policies that are diametrically opposed to the Bible. Okay. But Ricky, to be fair, not everyone believes in the Bible. I believe in the Bible, but not everyone does. I look at somebody like Condoleezza Rice, who has never been married. And when she had an interview talking more, she didn't very rarely spoke about her personal life. And when she talked about her personal life and, men that she would date, it was intimidation. That's the word that I wanted to use. I think some Black men are intimidated by strong, educated Black women. Just like I think there are some Black women who are intimidated by strong, educated Black men. But I think the same goes with white men and white women, vice versa. I think that's what it is. We as a community need to shut out the noise and get together and see what it is we can do as a community to come together and try to figure out why we feel this way or why we feel that way. Why is it that Black women, if they're getting married now, they're getting married later in life? When I say later in life, I mean like they're well into their 30s or even to their 40s. Why is it? So I don't know. Ricky also says the LGBTQ and the agents got further protections under the Biden administration. Black people got Biden's ass to kiss. You know what? I agree to that. I agree that when Biden signed Juneteenth, that was our bone, whereas the Asians got their Asian hate bill, and I think a lot of that had to do with Mitch McConnell and the fact that he's married to an Asian woman. I think that Biden should have done more to pass the John Lewis voting rights bill. I don't disagree with you on that. I don't disagree with you on that at all. But then I look at the Republicans. And what have the Republicans done for Black people? I mean, if we're really going to be honest, what have they done for Black people? Let's see. Hold on, let me go back. Ricky has a lot to say, so I want to make sure I have it up here. Ricky says we have white liberals pushing us out of our communities on one end, and we have illegal migrants pushing us out on the other. Yeah, and we also have conservatives, white conservatives, who want a whites only country who do want to take us back. Because when you say make America great again, what are you talking about? Because I can look at it one way. When was America not great? Or when was America truly great? Are you talking about the 50s when there was segregation and Jim Crow, the 60s? Are you talking about the 40s? I mean, what are you talking about? We have Black men who went to war in World War II, and they were sending money home to their families where their wives didn't have to work. But what did the government do? Because white women were complaining because they didn't have anybody to clean their house and clean their toilets and watch their babies. In the South, laws were made that any Black woman that was not married would be put in jail. And the only jobs available to Black women at that time where they would be hired were as maids. White people, not all, but some, by design throughout history, has been to keep Black people down. You look at all the Tulsas out there, hundreds of Black Wall Streets that were doing great. In my opinion, we were better off segregated than we were as an integrated country. We had our own stuff. We had our own banks. We had our own schools. We had museums. We had doctors. We had hospitals. See, the white man didn't like that because it's sometimes, in some of those occasions, Black people were doing better than white people. So what did white people do? They burned it down. And all these laws started coming up. So this is why I say if we're going to have these conversations, we have to be honest. And I know that Biden, the things that he's done for Black people, even Obama, just because the man's Black, I don't expect Kamala Harris to go run out and do all these things for me because she's a Black woman, or run out and do all these things for Indians because she's an Indian woman. I don't expect that. I don't expect anybody to do anything for me, and maybe that's the problem that you're expecting. Or not you in per se, Ricky, but just people are expecting people to do things for them. Do I believe that anybody can go out there and get the American dream? No, I don't. I think for some of us, it's harder. See, one thing that I can do as a human being, I can tell you, I went to school, graduated from a very good university. I can tell you that my grandparents did this, my parents did this, whatever. My son is 4th generation college grad. Education is a big thing in our family. The one thing I cannot change about myself, I could change that I'm a woman. I can go get a sex change. I can do that now. 20 years ago, I would have said I can't do that. But one thing I cannot change is the fact that I'm Black. So let's be honest. Some of us have to work harder. That's a fact. So what have the Democrats done for Black people? Not much. What have Republicans done for Black people? Not much. I don't know. And I'm going to be corrected on the stimulus check. It wasn't $1,500, it was $1,200. If it was 2 people in the household, 1,200 times 2, so you did get 24. And then Ricky says, addressing civil rights statement you made, the woman should have been out of harm's way. But you know what? So why should women have been out of harm's way? Because they're women? I mean, when you look back at history, and you really look back at history, and you look back at people who did a lot of the fighting, not just for Black people, I'm talking about around the globe, worldwide, you had a lot of women out there who were warriors. A lot of women. And for Black women to, to say Black women should, be out of harm's way. I don't agree with that, because Black women have always been in harm's way. When you look back during slave times, Black women have always been in harm's way. All the rapes that went on. And it wasn't just all of a sudden you're 18, so yeah, I'm going to choose her and I'm going to take her. No. Black women, Black girls were always in harm's way. You had 8-year-old girls that were raped by the overseers and the masses sons and uncles and grandpappies. Black women have always been in harm's way. Black women have always been the glue that kept a family together. So if she wants to go out there and be a warrior, why not? Because she's doing it for her family and for her community. I don't know. Excuse me. But I want to play another video, and this is about the debate. So I do want to get some more of this in, and this is well, I'll just play it.
Otherwise, Putin would be sitting in Kyiv with his eyes on the rest of Europe, starting with Poland. And why don't you tell the 800,000 Polish Americans right here in Pennsylvania how quickly you would give up for the sake of favor and what you think is a friendship with what is known to be a dictator who would eat you for lunch.
Okay. I do have concerns that someone like Trump and the way he talks about Putin, the way he talks about, I can never get this man's name right, so forgive me, North Korea, Kim Jong. I'm just going to say Kim Jong because I cannot get the last name. No, what he says about those people, what he says about people who are dictators, the fact that, Mein Kampf is a playbook for him. I read Mein Kampf twice. I had to read it in high school, and I had to read it in college. And it's a very off-putting book, but it's a book that I encourage people to read, because you get into the mind of not only of a dictator, but of a madman. There's someone who, again, if you're watching, who says that they read a lot. And at times we would have conversations and this person would say to me, I never heard about that. I didn't hear about that. But I realized something a couple of months ago. That the things that this person reads are very selective. They're very selective in their reading, because there's a lot of things this person has not read that they don't know about this country. And we have to open up our minds to everything and everyone. We have to be able to look at something and just truly and just look at it at face value, absorb it. And this is someone who only watched Fox News and one particular person who is no longer with Fox News. I watch everything. I watch Fox, I watch the BBC. MSNBC is my news of choice. But I watch CNN. I don't care for CNN much. You know, but I watch shows where I'm looking at, I watch news shows where I'm looking at subtitles because I don't understand the language. I listen to everything because I want to know what everybody has to say. I want to know what's truly going on out there. I don't know. Let's see. Ricky says, that's just it. I don't want a strong black woman. Strong black woman is a phrase promoted after the black woman had to face the conditions of the side that she chose. Ricky, again, I disagree with that, because a strong black woman, I mean, you have a strong black man, you have strong white men, strong white women. So, do you want someone who's going to cower? I mean, do you want someone who, if you're in a relationship with them and they, you don't want them to disagree, that your word is it and that's it, that they can't disagree with you? So is it that you're taking the strong thing just a little bit too literally? And Ricky says, I want an educated black woman. I am supposed to be the strong one in the relationship. So this educated black woman that you have, Ricky, you're going to have to explain when you say I am supposed to be the strong one in the relationship, because I would think that children, and I grew up in a family, my parents, my mother was a strong black woman, so was my father, but my sister and I, for me, I'm not going to speak for my sister. I'm just going to speak for me. I look back at my family and I see, because of the dynamics of two strong parents, my sister and I were able to excel in certain things. We were able to excel that when we came home from school, because I went to a private school that was mostly white, got called all kinds of names, come home crying. And both of my parents being strong to tell us that we are just as good as. We're just as, not that we are better than, but we are just as good as opposed to having a parent, a woman, that was meek and watched her husband be the man. I don't have daughters. I only have a son, but I would never want my daughters to feel that a man is better than them or a man is stronger than them. You're supposed to be a partnership. Both of you can go to work and both of you can support the family. Both of you can be strong for your children. Both of you can be educated and get jobs in your respective fields. You know, but I don't know. You have men out there who are not taking care of their children, who, if a woman gets pregnant, and this is not just black men, this is white men too, and Latino, and Asian. You don't hear much about the Asians, but I know there are some that are out there, because I know at least one personally, who, as soon as a woman says that she's pregnant, oh, it's not mine. Yeah, it's yours. And then you have these single parents, these single women who have to be strong in order to take care of their families. So is the word strong just a relative word? I think I'm a strong black woman. I think my husband's a strong black man. But we're partners. And in my opinion, we have raised a child who has grown into a very nice, respectful, strong young man. So I don't know. Is a woman not supposed to be president of the United States? Is a woman not supposed to be a senator? Is a woman not supposed to be a doctor? I mean, way back when, women couldn't even be teachers. Only men could be teachers. There were male nurses. Only men could be nurses. Women were supposed to stay at home, get pregnant, and raise children. So I don't know. And in terms of the Bible, I believe in the Bible, but I also respect people that don't. There are people who don't believe in the Bible. I do not support transgender rights. But at the same time, if that's what they want to do, go and do it. I don't care. If that's your choice. I am a straight woman. My lifestyle is not one of LGBTQ. I don't agree with it. And people who I know that I don't. But they're still my friends. Go do whatever you want to do. I don't care. Because if a transgender person is not harming me, or if a gay person is not harming me, what do I care? But the people who have said things to me in the past, and people who have harmed me in the past, they weren't trans, they weren't gay, they were straight. And what you saw this past Tuesday was a woman who told a man who could not even look at her not one time what she thought. I don't know. So this is we live in a country that is so fundamentally broken. is broken in terms of race, is broken in terms of gender, is broken in terms of our political system. We live in a broken country that has been broken for centuries. And I say to the same person who has said to me, to be honest, I say to them this: some, not all, but look at who's been running this country for decades. Look at who's been running this country for centuries. Look who's been running this world for centuries, since it, started. Who broke it? Who broke this country? Was it the Democrats? Was it the Republicans? Was it the Tories? Who broke this country? Was it the British? Was it the Scots? And yes, Africans had slaves. We all know that. But who broke this country? And you want to be honest. Who broke this world? Why is there war? Why are buffalo pretty much extinct? And I'm going to talk about my city again. This city, since I moved in to this city, as I said, we have farms. There was a lot of wildlife, all kinds of things. We literally have coyotes running around 12 noon on a very busy intersection. You can see a coyote walking down the street. You don't see people walking their dogs anymore. No, the Haitians are not out there eating their dogs or anything. We have coyotes that a lot of people say that we should kill them. I think they should just be rehomed, because people like me, and I am one of the ones at fault, bought a house in this area. But in the last 3 years, they've done so much building, like I said, that they've excuse me, they have destroyed their homes. So yeah, they are going into people's yards. They are killing cats, killing dogs, rabbits. That we used to go to the park, you can see rabbits running everywhere. We still have some places around here where there are a lot of dairies. Cows are being attacked because these coyotes have nowhere to go. They have nothing to eat. So who is destroying all these things? Man is. It's not Democrats. It's not Republicans. Man is a destructive force. So what are we going to do to fix it? And I guarantee you, one person says, I alone can fix it. No, he can't. He has proven that it's become more divisive. And people who say that Obama divided the country, no, Obama did not divide the country. People who did not like Obama divided the country. And a lot of it was because, and let's be honest, it's because he was a black man. And let's be honest, that is one thing that people are not going, that are having problems with Kamala Harris, is that she's a black woman. And she's a woman. Same thing with Hillary Clinton. She was a woman. You have these other countries that have women in power, presidents, what have you. But for whatever reason, the United States, we just can't seem to get there. Frank Tubby says, you respect atheists? Thank you. I'm an atheist from Europe. For me, being an atheist is just normal. We look at America with disbelief and fear. Let's just say that things could be much, much better. You know, Frank, again, I believe in the Bible. There are some things that I question because the Bible, you know, when you look at it, the Bible was written by man. And there's so many versions of the Bible. You know, we even had, you know, the slave Bible. Yes, I have a copy of the slave Bible. Even that is a joke. But Frank, you know, if you want to be an atheist, you know, bless you. I'm not going to go stand in front of your house and have signs up and boycott your house and call your boss and say, oh, you know, Frank should be fired because he's an atheist. I'm not doing that because it's none of my business. As long as you're not hurting anyone, as long as you're not physically hurting anyone or even mentally or emotionally hurting anyone, do whatever the hell you want. And see, that's the problem I think that we all have in this country. We're not minding our own damn business. We are too busy worried about, you know, who's sleeping with who and, who should do this and people shouldn't do this and people shouldn't do that. Mind your own business. I don't want a government that is going to tell me what to do, especially with my body. My son was born via IVF. If I didn't have that, I would be childless. I wouldn't be a childless cat lady, but I would be a childless dog owner because I have 3 dogs. I don't like cats. So, you know, again, if we're going to be honest, let's be honest. Because I don't know. So if anyone, you know, disagrees with me, put it in the chat, send me an email. If you want to come on the show, you're welcome. But there's just so much out here for everyone. There's so much out here that we can all learn from each other. But all the vitriol and the name calling, you know, 30 years ago, saying that you were going to grab somebody by the pussy, that person would have immediately not, their campaign would have been over. And Frank, I agree with you when you say you look at America with disbelief and fear. Yeah, you come here, you might get shot. And I'm not talking about by somebody who owns a gun. I'm talking about by if you're in a group, if you're at a movie theater, if you go to a concert, if you're at the supermarket, if you're in a church praying, you could get shot because of our gun laws here that are absolutely ridiculous. And I am a liberal and I do own guns, but I do believe in responsible gun ownership, which I think that Republicans know and conservatives know that is liberals say responsible gun ownership. They want to turn it into, oh, they want to take away your guns. But instead, we have conservatives out here setting fires in California. The majority of the fires that were set on purpose here in California in the past 20 years were set by conservatives. So while you're burning down homes, you're also burning conservative homes. So you want to talk about conservatives versus the liberals? This country has so much. We have, oh my God. Frank, I understand why you look at America with disbelief and fear. I do believe we are the greatest country on earth, and I do believe we are the most powerful, but I also believe that we are the most dangerous, especially to ourselves. But if anybody says that anything I've said was wrong today, let me know. friendlydifferences@gmail.com. But let's be honest. When you look at the debate that went on this past Tuesday between Kamala Harris and Donald Trump, there was a lot of truth there, and there were a lot of lies. You look at MAGAs and the destruction and divisiveness that they have done to this country. And Republicans, those old Republicans with those old Republican values, it's going to be a while before you get back to that, if you're able to get back to it at all. And the first thing that needs to happen is to get rid of Donald Trump. Trump has to lose this election. You even have conservatives who have said that in order for the GOP to get back on track, Trump must lose. But this is who you wanted. And this is the country that we have. And this vitriol and hatred has spilled over into other countries. And again, who cares if you're gay? Who cares if you're an atheist? Who cares if you're trans? Like I said, I may not agree with that lifestyle. They're not hurting me. People who are banning books, have you read any of the books that are actually banned? I can guarantee you I know one person who hasn't. Do you all even know what you're even doing? So until then, until then, y'all, until next week, thank you. I appreciate you. Thank you, Caleb. And on that note, let me put Caleb's up here. Thank you, Caleb. On that note, peace.